right, so just as I was getting ready to sit down and film my way too early NFC predictions, the Dallas Cowboys made a trade that got my mind, the gears going, and I just have to talk about it with you guys. For everybody that's wanting the NFC way too early predictions, that video will still be out tomorrow. But for today, I want to talk about the future of the Dallas Cowboys and what lane this Joe Milton trade really just opened up for them. Because I understand what I'm going to suggest is risky and to some people will seem stupid or asinine, but just walk with me for the course of this video. You disagree at the end, let me know in the comment section why I'm just an idiot about this, but I really do think for the Cowboys to maximize their potential, get back to a winning way, and really potentially become a Super Bowl level team, because that's what Jerry Jones says he plays the game for. That's what every one of these NFL teams plays for, right? To be a Super Bowl team. You're not supposed to be playing to host a playoff game and never make it past the second round. You're not supposed to be playing to just sell jerseys. The goal of each team should be to win the Super Bowl. And if the Dallas Cowboys' goal is to win the Super Bowl, now that they have acquired Joe Milton, they should trade Dak Prescott. And I'm not sitting here telling you today, one for one, that Joe Milton is a better player than Dak Prescott. But in terms of what they can provide, max ceiling, and value in contract, the Cowboys would be better off going with Joe Milton, and the time to capitalize on this is now. We are on the midst of the NFL draft. We're a couple weeks away, right? 3 weeks away as of recording. And it's one of the weaker drafts in a long time. And it's especially one of the weaker quarterback drafts in a long time. Cam Ward, who is the consensus #1 pick in this draft, would not have gone as a top 3 quarterback last year for sure. And would he have gone over Michael Penix? Would he have gone over JJ McCarthy? I think that would have been down to preference of team. But Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, all for sure would have gone over Cam Ward. And then aside from that, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, these guys are second rounders in last year's draft. Meaning the quarterback desperate teams don't necessarily have an answer. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, what can you get for a Dak Prescott on the open market? What would Cleveland be willing to trade you to acquire a Dak Prescott? What would the Giants, who have Daboll and Shane's jobs on the line, be willing to give you to get Dak Prescott? And I don't think either of those teams are giving up their first rounder unless you're providing yours in a deal. But we go further back in the draft. The New Orleans Saints at pick 9, Kellen Moore, the new head coach, has had experience with Dak Prescott. The Pittsburgh Steelers at pick 21, who have everything but the quarterback at this point in time. There are quarterback needy teams. And Dak Prescott could get those teams to the level where they feel like they can compete for the price tag that's on him. But if you're Dallas, there's been all these questions this offseason already. Can this team pay Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons all at the top of their market? The answer consensusly has kind of been no. You would have to build a perfect team throughout the draft. It's a similar situation to the Cincinnati Bengals. And if we were to value each of those players, Dak, CeeDee, and Micah, by their positional rank, Dak would easily be the lowest. Micah is top 3, CeeDee is top 5, and I don't even think Dak's top 10. It's not close in terms of positional ranking. It's not close. And Dak is making $60 million a year. How much could you fill out a roster with $60 million? Yes, 40 of that goes to Micah, but then you have an additional 20 plus whatever else you were going to use to fill out the roster. You could bring in a stellar wide receiver too. You could bring in another corner. You could bring in another linebacker. You could fill multiple spots with the money you'd be saving. And at the end of the day, Dak has suffered multiple injuries now on the wrong side of 30 and has never shown you an ability, even when healthy, to get past the second round of the playoffs. You haven't sniffed a Super Bowl if you're Dallas. The rookie season he had where it was him and Zeke was the leader of that team, was the closest you got, and Aaron Rodgers came into Jerry World and broke your hearts. The Cowboys need to make a shift. The Cowboys need to shake the snow globe. And doing so may involve trading one of your premier pieces. People have suggested trading Micah Parsons, but to me, there's no doubt in my mind that on the right team, Micah Parsons is a game wrecker, an impact player enough that could win you a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott is not that guy. So that is the guy that I move off of. Dak Prescott is the guy that I trade. And Joe Milton, is he going to be a Pro Bowler? Is he going to light the world on fire? I don't know. But coming out of Tennessee, this guy has one of the strongest arms in the NFL. This guy is massive human being. What's he, 6'5", 6'6"? Huge. At least he looks like it on the field. Fast as hell. The guy's got speed. The intangibles in terms of athleticism easily outweigh what Dak Prescott is giving you. Easily stronger arm. Easily faster. Easily better size. And we did see a sample of him at the end of last season against the Buffalo Bills. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't their A team out there, but these are NFL level defenders. They were certainly trying. And Joe Milton was dotting them up. The only reason Joe Milton doesn't get a real shake in New England is because they'd spent the draft pick on Drake May. And he's panning out. And that's why they had to move him. And the Cowboys, by the way, even if Joe Milton's just the backup, fleeced on this deal. Fleeced. Because Joe Milton's cheaper, younger than Cooper Rush, and you just spent a 5th round pick on him essentially and got a 7th back. But Dallas should have the balls to go all in on this and to shake that snow globe. Because in an NFC East with the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles, who have the best offensive skill group in the NFL and just won a Super Bowl and have shown a history to be able to draft, with the Washington Commanders, who may have just drafted a guy who in 2 years we would no doubt call the best quarterback in the NFC to lead their franchise. You're not competing with Dak Prescott. But if Joe Milton reached his highest potential, you could be. And if you had the money to fill out a complete roster, a la the way that the Vikings have. Look at what the Vikings did last year. Sam Darnold was the quarterback. Everybody had kind of written him off and didn't have any belief in him, but they made that roster so great with the extra money that they had, that they won 14 games, somewhere in that realm. Why can't Dallas do the same? I understand what I'm suggesting would take a lot of cojones and would ruffle some feathers and could be a fall on your face moment for Dallas. But you know what? If Dallas falls on their face and ends up at the top of the draft, next year's quarterback class is going to be better. If it doesn't pan out, draft a guy. At the end of the day, that's the trajectory you're headed on anyways. Vegas has Dallas's current win total set at 7.5. Vegas doesn't even believe that Dallas is a 500 football team next year with Dak Prescott. What do you have to lose? 3rd place in the division? You might fall to 4th. I'd argue if you're going to be 3rd, you'd rather be 4th and get the higher draft pick. But what do you have to gain? A way better roster, a quarterback with a higher ceiling, some excitement in the franchise. Micah Parsons extended, because who knows if they feel they could do that right now. Would you be willing to lose Micah Parsons to keep Dak Prescott? If I was a Cowboys fan, the answer would be hell no. The Cowboys should take this risk. The Cowboys should take this chance. Are they going to? Probably not. You saw Schefter's tweet. He said Dallas lands a new backup. But I saw rumors on Twitter about the Cowboys and Browns talking about a Dak Prescott deal. Again, with Daboll and Joe Shane's jobs on the line, what would they be willing to give for Dak Prescott to lead their franchise? New Orleans, Pittsburgh, there's teams that could use a quarterback. New Orleans got a veteran roster. It feels like they want to compete. I don't think they could possibly take on the money, but you know how NFL fake money management can work from time to time. If I'm Dallas, I'm off of Dak Prescott. And if I'm a Dallas fan, I'm off of Dak Prescott. So that was my little pitch. Did you walk with me? Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you love the NFL and you're not already subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Smash that button. Tomorrow, my way too early NFC predictions video will be dropping. I appreciate you guys' support. I will catch you next time. Peace.